2, 1, 2, 3, go. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He's calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua is coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. The Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, O people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins, was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, O people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins, was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, O people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins, was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, O people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him, and he'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He's calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. He's coming again.
All right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason,
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we are the people assimilated around this little round table in the middle of a jungle that is blessed enough to hang out with all of you guys that we are family. And this is an amazing day because this is a Shabbat. This is an appointed time that our Creator has into his people, an appointed time that begins the covenant reach and the covenant search that all of us are under. Now, for those who are in organized religion, a lot of what we will say is absolutely new, because organized religion somehow fails to include the very first half of the book. And when we fail to include the very first half of the book, and Revelation 14:12 says that the only people who are saved are those who keep the commandments of our Creator, and we don't even know what the commandments of our Creator are because we're in one of those religions that has no value on them. So here we are, out in the middle of a jungle. We are trying to spread the truth of the lies of this religious system that is out there, and encourage everybody out there to read your scriptures from the front of the book to the end of the book, and all the Apocrypha and everything in between that, because those are what we have been given. It is what has been preserved. It has been what is a path forward. And for those who don't want the path forward, which is called the Torah, then by default, our Messiah, and many of you don't know who I'm talking about when I say Yahushua, but that is the Son of the Most High. Since there were no J's in the Hebrew alphabet, and there's no Jah sound, the man's name was not Jesus. And so when I'm talking about Messiah Yahushua, I am talking about the Son of the Most High. Good morning, everybody. Much love to everybody out there. All right, how's everyone doing here? Table, everyone good? All right, Kate, open us up, will you please?
Father, thank you for bringing us all together once again as a united family, united tribe of Israel, looking for your commandments, looking for your ways and Torah. We thank you for your feast time. We thank you for the feast of Sukkot. We thank you for your word we are going to read today, and we ask that we can all learn something from it today, that your Ruach is on our eyes to understand and to see what you have put out before us. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for your prophets. We thank you for your Torah. We thank you for the Shabbat, and we ask that everyone here is rested up, that they're ready for the week to come, that they are reset in your power and your grace and your love. We thank you for all in your name. Amen.
Okay, so here we are for those who are keeping the Feast of Sukkot. Hope your feast is going well. I don't know so much you'd be keeping it unless you guys were on the Zadiki calendar. That is a calendar that we moved over about a year ago, I suppose, after a lot of research, a lot of studying, and a lot of places in scriptures that we could not find a lot of stuff about. We have been told, just like in Christianity, we got hooked into things that are not in scriptures, and it's very hard to find. And so the only calendar that we could find that actually matched up with scriptures was the Zadiki calendar. And so that is the calendar that we're keeping. And like I said before, I don't think we need to throw stones at each other. We don't need to chop each other in the back with an axe or anything of the sort. If you are keeping a appointed time of our Creator, and even if you are on to a different calendar of any sort, but you are trying to keep it, that is where I believe that this will be counted for obedience. And so it's going to be something that we get a lot of things wrong. We're 6,000 years past the days of creation, and thousands of years since the days of when the Levites were around to advise people on how to act and how to behave, and based upon to give us the understanding of Torah. And so what we have right now is we have a tremendous amount of confusion. We're ending the 6,000 years that are coming up that our Creator has given mankind. We're entering into the 7,000th year very, very soon, into that reign, into that time, 6,000th, the last thing. So it's very, very close. And it is at these close times that we all would want to be in the commandments of our Creator. If there's no other place in scriptures that we can find how man is saved except by keeping the obedience to the laws, statutes, and commandments, and there's no other way, then we probably need to zero in and focus on that way and do what's very most important, which is guarding and protecting our soul. Jade, will you please Shema our brothers and sisters?
Yep. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one, and you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. You shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall respond between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
So there we go, guys. We have some basic instructions that we are told something that is contrary to what religion has told us. Because in religion, in Christianity, you will not find a Christian religion that has a single amount of value in the commands of our Creator, yet our Creator has told us right here in Deuteronomy that we need to love Him with all of our heart, with all our being, with all of our might. And the words which He's commanding us today, we need to have them in our heart, and we need to impress them upon our children and speak of them when you sit by your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. And we're supposed to bind them as a sign on our hand, as frontlets between our eyes. There's not a single place in this world that we should ever encounter or take a single step unless we have the spiritual protection of the Torah behind us. And when you say the laws have been nailed to the cross, that is demonic. That is satanic. That is not found in Scriptures anywhere. And it's not something that we would want to do. Because as we are about to go over these laws, statutes, and commandments that majority of the world has no value on, to the people who are the Creator's chosen people, these mean absolutely everything to all of us. And you will never find me a command or convince me of something inside of these Torah that doesn't make any sense. I've never found one. We go over these and we've gone over them thousands and thousands of times, and there's nothing that I just have to raise my eyebrow at and go, wow, this sounds really weird or sounds creepy or doesn't make any sense whatsoever. When you take the Torah as an entire whole and you write it upon your life, then everything in your life will change. The way you eat, the way you operate, the way you take care of people, the way you worship, the way you keep appointed times, right? All of a sudden you would be getting rid of Easter and Christmas and all these false pagan days that our Creator has told us not to be like the world. And we would start keeping things like Sukkot. We keep things like Passover, Feast of Trumpets, right? All of these things become a very big part of our value of our system that we have. And they will be good for all times and all generations. And in Matthew 7, when our Messiah says, go to hell because you don't keep the laws, that's something we should lift our eyebrows at and wonder, what does he mean? And if there is another meaning to that, what could it be? Because all throughout Scriptures, that seems like the entire meaning. It sounds like the people who are obedient are called Yah's people, and the people who are disobedient are the children of hell. And so we want to attempt to get on the path of righteousness. We want to attempt to get our family aligned in the ways of our Creator. And we're not going to do that in religion. We're not going to do that with the television programming on. We're not going to be doing that, allowing our kids to sit there and play video games. It's about taking the words of our Creator and indoctrinating our entire lives and our existence in on it. Okay, Miss Nicole, will you please say hi to our brothers and sisters?
Yep, we have Candy and Ruby, Jeremy and Callan. We have Jeannie Not of This World, Sarah Baker, Sylvia, the Grandma, Emissary Kaim and Yamin. We have Andy and Elizabeth. Hope you guys are safe there in North Carolina. We have Joanna, Sister Barb, Regina. We haven't seen Regina on here for a while, so welcome to you. We have, I'm scrolling, Mama CA, David Wegner, and I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
All right, well, greetings to you now, greetings to you guys later, whenever you guys watch this. Majority of the views come much, much later. Not when we're live, but for everybody who's live right now, huge hugs, huge love to you guys. And let's start rocking the road here with these Torah commands that we do every single Shabbat. Okay, be fruitful.
Multiply.
Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The earth barren, every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin. Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect. They are Yahuwah's covenants, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. You do not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat. Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock. Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's. Do not make an altar from rock that tool has touched.
Do not go up the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset. Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report. Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
All right,
Bring
guys,
back-
gotta pause for a minute.
All right.
The Grand would like you to expound on be perfect.
Walk before me and be perfect. What command is that, guys? Where's that here?
Goes up quite a ways.
It's way
So this is, and this is kind of funny because we had a brother in the chains, and he was just talking about another one of these commands. It's kind of the same, and the commandments. It's the I think it's number 7. Is called master sin. And the thing about mastering sin is a lot of it has to do with walk before me and be perfect. The number one thing that none of us would ever know is what it takes to achieve perfection unless we know what the Torah is. When we understand what the Torah is and these 150 plus laws, about 150 laws that we can keep today, then we know what perfection isn't. When we drink the blood, that's not perfection. When we eat the fat, that's not perfection. When we look at our children naked, that's not perfection. When we are ripping our neighbors off, right? We do a deal with them and we add an extra 50 cents to everything that we do and walk away with an extra $100, right? That's not walking to perfection. We're not supposed to alter our weights and measurements. Walking to perfection to the very best of our ability is, number one, understanding what it takes that our Creator looks at for perfection. And number one, we're all going to fall short, right? We're human beings, and you will have the entire hordes of Christians out there that want to tar and feather me right here because they'll first of all, they're like, Jason, you can't keep the Torah, right? As they're hissing at me, and nobody can keep the Torah, and then the whole group of snakes come after me. We can keep the Torah. We may not be able to walk it absolutely perfect because when you get a dark thought in your mind, when you get some evil in your mind, when it comes out, when we vibrate that across our tongue, when we're doing evil, right? We're not walking and being perfect. Mastering sin and walking to the best of our ability is simply knowing the Torah and representing it with our lives. If we know the Torah and we're not showing our works by the use of the Torah, then we don't really know Torah. Because Torah is something that is living, it's breathing, it lives all around us, right? It's not something that's just a set of words that nobody needs to do. When you bring the Torah into your life, you become enamored, you become strengthened. The spiritual power of the Ruach HaKodesh will enter your life. And not only do you get life blessings with it, but you also get spiritual protection. You will get an entire hordes of messengers that are available for your defense if so need be. So basically, trying to perfect our walk is that we know Torah, we walk to the very, very, very best of our abilities, and when we fall, when we stumble, we stand up, dust our legs off, ask for repentance, and attempt never to do that again. That is what it means. Okay, continuing on. What do you got?
Sister Barb says Messiah came because we cannot achieve perfection. Torah simply strive to.
Yeah, we can't achieve it. You could try as hard as you can, but it's pretty easy to break Torah when it comes to things like anger against your brother, right? Things of that nature. That's breaking Torah. Messiah very clearly said that. And so if it's that easy to break Torah, we all have to be very astute when it comes to trying to walk it perfectly. And there should never be a day that we don't try to strive to do better than the day before. We know what the Torah is. When we know what the Torah is, we know what the guidelines for the rule set for Judgment Day will be. And so we have to walk that line. And it's not a bad line because this is not bondage. This is not something that takes away from your life. It brings health. It brings liberty. It brings freedom. It brings all sorts of stuff. Okay, continuing on. Where are we at? Anyone?
Do not follow multitude of evil.
Okay, do not follow the multitude of evil. Where's that at?
And then
We were down a bit more than that. We were on the enemy's cattle.
Okay. Help the animals of your enemy.
Bring back enemy's cattle if not
Okay.
going astray.
Okay, help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make or use anointing oil on an old person. Do not make or use perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat. Do what you say you are going to do.
Turn what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation. Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh, holy. Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely to defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar. Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not enrage your neighbor. Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool. Do not lie with the taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery. Do not round your beard at the corners of your head.
Do not carry yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos. Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the media. Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations. Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, the Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Kippur.
Keep the feast of goat, Shem Yet Threat. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury. Honor the Yobel, the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who trespassed against.
The law of being Nazir. Wear Tzitzit on the four corners of your garments.
The Torah of whoever touches a corpse.
Yahuwah's law is the fruit of inheritance. The law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul. Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand, the frontlets between your eyes. Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart. Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images. Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes. Do not hearken the words of the false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing. You shall give to a stranger a clean food that dies of itself. You shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release. Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar. Do not, 3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers. The first child get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, if you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babes, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that they lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute. Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not pay a person's millstone for a pledge. If you lend your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. You must bring it to him. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for forgotten sheep in the field, leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain. If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of the 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot.
Okay, so there we go, guys. These are very incredible words that our Creator has given to us. They are words that I am constantly always thanking our Creator that He has given to us, and that I'm very, very, very thankful. There's some sound effects too, big banging on the roof, right? So right in time. These are words that are incredible for us, right? They are. Imagine a world where we have been a created entity, and we have no way forward. We don't know what the wishes of our Creator are. We don't know the best way for health. We don't know the way to the kingdom. All we have is this bleak world where everybody seems to be serving Satan pretty happily. Everybody's off in their own world. Nobody really even gives a dang. This is just not the kind of people and the kind of world that I want to end up in, which is why I really, really, really hope that I make the kingdom myself. It's really why I really, really hope that all of us out there make the kingdom. That it is a place of peace when you look at this kind of world that we live in right now. Okay, now we are going to be going over this. Eli, get our scriptures up, please.
That's how we were going.
Yeah, we're going to read from both. You're going to be swapping back and forth on this. Okay, so guys, we are into Leviticus 17. For those who do not know, we've been reading through these scriptures now for years and years and years. So let's go into it. Jade, break this down for us quick.
So, made it out of Egypt. We've got the people across the Red Sea. They got some laws. Moses went up on the mountain. He got more laws. He came down and found them going astray and breaking commands they barely heard. He broke the stones, the tablet stones, and then had killed a whole bunch of people. Went back up, found new stones, learned all the commands, and then he came back, started teaching the people. Now we're in the days of the Levites. We're in the days where we're learning what sacrifice to do, how to do it, how they pronounce people unclean. They are basically the doctors. They are the inspectors. They are people we bring stuff to. When we're supposed to give our 10%, it went to the priest and not some man behind a box. So this is what we're learning now, is the stuff about the priests and their sacrifices and what they're supposed to do as a Levitical priest.
Right. And so this is very important, that we know the procedures and the operating procedures that have technically been replaced. When it comes down to our Messiah, all of these Levitical duties of the priesthood, the whole point and the whole purpose of the Levitical priest was basically a medium, an intermediary between us and our Creator, a way that we could, as people, be atoned for the kind of evil that we do on a day-to-day basis, that our Creator would hang out with us and would dwell with us. And so a lot of people, and in fact, I was just talking to another brother in prison this morning about this, and it's like I've been talking to him for a long time, and then he came back and he's like, I really hate God. He's like, it came down to this, and I haven't been able to. I made a promise to my kid that I was going to be able to call him for his birthday. And somehow on death row, his tablet broke and he couldn't get a hold of his kid. And so he broke his promise. And it's because of that he decided that the Creator of the universe is useless, that there's no reason for him. And I had to spend a lot of time on this email responding to him. And I really didn't want to even go through these emails because I knew this particular email was in there. And it wasn't just one, it was 3. It was so long, he wrote 3 different ones. And I don't know if he'll ever write back to me again. I don't know, because I formulated a few questions and I let him know. I said, is it the reason, the Creator of the universe, that he has us where we are at? And I explained to him, I said, I'm a diabetic. I go blind all the time. Is it the Creator's problem that I'm a glutton, that I will destroy my body to this point? Or is this something with me? Should I blame the Creator of the universe when I can no longer see because I have done things that would affect it? And I explained to him, I said, brother, we've fallen under man's laws. We are now under man's things. You're stuck in a place that more than likely you will never, ever get out of. And if we're looking at finding a place to blame anything, then we don't need to look too much further than the adversary, right? We have somebody that we know that is completely not on our side, that completely wants to hurt us, that completely wants us dead, that wants our souls dead, that wants us away from family, that wants us away from anyone that loves us, that wants nothing but misery in our lives, and that's Hasatan, right? Everything that I just mentioned is not a way of our Creator. Our Creator doesn't want any of that. But when we are disobedient to the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, then we're going to fall into places we don't want to be. And is it the Creator's fault that we're not obeying His ways when we have billions of Christians that are standing naked before the Creator of the universe on Judgment Day? What are they going to say? This is your fault that you didn't send an angel down to tell me that I should be keeping the laws of our Creator, right? It's really, really easy to try to put blame on a lot of individuals. And a lot of times when we're pointing blame out to somebody else, there's 3 or 4 different fingers pointing back at us as we point that finger, right? Everything that we do is part of the life and the walk that we have, whether we destroy our temples or whether we don't destroy our temples. This is not the fault of the Creator. He gave us 2 hands, eyes, ears, nose, the ability to think with a big brain, and we have ways out of things. We don't have to take certain situations. Sometimes we do, but if we're sitting there blaming the Creator of the universe when He has given us a way forward with a body that functions, how is any of this His fault? And so this was one of these hard emails that I had to respond to. And this is, I don't even know how I got on this rant. I was talking about mostly that Messiah is now our Levitical priesthood. That was the whole bottom line of this entire thing, is that Messiah is this priesthood that we had that is now the qualified, authorized priest of the Most High. He's our Melchizedek priest, and He is the way forward. Okay, Leviticus 17. Let us begin. Did the chat die?
No, it's still there.
I think it died on the screen. No, there it is. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go. Leviticus 17. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the Aaron, to his sons, and to all the children of Yisrael, and say to them, this is the word which Yahuwah commanded, saying, any man from the house of Yisrael who slaughters a bull or lamb or a goat in the camp, or who slaughters it outside the camp, and does not bring it to the door of the tent of appointment to bring an offering to Yahuwah before the Mishkan of Yahuwah, blood guilt is reckoned to that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. Okay, and let's continue on where it says, in order that the children of Yisrael bring their slaughterings which they slaughter in the open field, and they shall bring them to the tent to Yahuwah at the door of the tent of appointment to the Kohen, and slaughter them as peace offerings to Yahuwah. Okay, what are we dealing with, fellas? What anyone have a rough idea why it is that this instruction was given to the people right here?
Because when we do a sacrifice, it's supposed to be for a reason, not just to basically sacrifice an animal for ourselves, to bring it to the priest. If we don't bring it to the priest, then we are sinning, because this is supposed to be food for them, and we're taking away food for them if we don't give it to them.
Yes, and what we're going to find out a little bit further on in this verse is that these guys were not slaughtering to Yahuwah. That's the problem. Is we have an issue where these guys are slaughtering things outside of the actual way that our Creator wants us to do it. So continuing on, the commandment is, if you slaughter any animal, you make sure that it makes it to the tent of appointment. Right? This is the thing. If you're slaughtering to other Elohim, this is a major problem. Okay, 6. And the Kohanim shall sprinkle the blood on the altar of Yahuwah at the door of the tent of appointment, and shall burn the fat for a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. And let them no longer slaughter their slaughterings to demons, after whom they hoard. This is a law forever for them throughout their generations. All right, we're way back in the days of Leviticus, right? We're early on, and we can say a lot of things, right? That the Israelites, the later on Israelites, the days after Joshua, they really messed up. Well, it seems to me that they were still carrying on all of this stuff right here, because part of the law, the first 6 verses right here to the 7th, it talks about why they should not be slaughtering animals out in the field, and don't be slaughtering to demons, right? After whom they hoard. This was one of the major problems that we have in all of the world, is that we are unfaithful to our Creator. In the fact that we have so many different lowercase Elohim, lowercase gods that we will worship, that we will take. I don't know how many different so-called gods there are, but there's a tremendous amount, and they will worship them. And so even back in the days of the Levites, people were out slaughtering to these demons. Big deal. 8. And say to them, any man of the house of Yisrael, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who offers a burnt offering or slaughtering, and does not bring it to the door of the tent of appointment to do it to Yahuwah, that man shall be cut off from among his people. Okay, so again, it's talking more about how our Creator wants us to dwell with Him. We know that there is one Torah for the stranger and one for the native. What that means is something that is very mystifying when it comes to religion, right? When you have 41,000 Christian religions and you have hundreds of thousands of other religions, every single one of these religions has a different God. They may say they're the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but when you're sitting eating pork, when you're eating unclean food, when you're worshiping on the wrong day, you are not serving the same Elohim as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's not the same God. You're serving Satan by default, and it looks like God in your eyes, you're Yahuwah, but it's not. Our Creator would not have us worshiping on the wrong day. He would not have us eating unclean foods. All of these things. And so as a covenanted people, there is a way forward that all of us need to go. And these are all these problems that we encounter. And it's not only these people that are slaughtering to other gods, right? You guys, or not you guys probably in particular, but you have entire religions of, say, for instance, let's just pick on the Catholics real quick. They have a Catholic Mass in the morning. In there, if you guys have never been to a Catholic church, most Catholic church, at least in North America that I've ever been to, you have the normal pews, and then you have a little prayer thing. You flip it down from right in front of you, and you get right from your pew, you drop right to your knees, and you start praying, right? Who are you praying to, right? it's not the same Elohim that we know. We're not going to be in a Catholic church with these demonic priests that are doing all this evil stuff. That's not an Elohim of the Scriptures. The Elohim of the Scriptures is way different, and we're not going to find him in these man-made churches at all. Okay, continuing on, 11.
I think you're on 10.
10. Okay, and this is very important because we're coming up to a huge commandment right here. And any man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, who eats any blood, I shall turn my face against that being who eats blood, and shall cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your lives. For it is the blood that makes atonement for your life. Okay, so there we have right there. That does look pretty bloody, doesn't it? Does that look like a bloody steak?
Yeah,
that looks like a bloody steak. What's interesting, Jason, everything was nailed to the stake. Yeah, that's what you will hear, Joanna. That's the demonology that people say. And what you're saying, what people are saying, is that everything that our Creator has said to us doesn't mean anything. And we can go our own way and we can make our own religion. But going back to this, guys, blood is a major, major thing. And you will have people that will argue that the blood of the steak is not the same as regular blood. And I don't have a great argument, other than I would cook up my steak as well and make sure there's not blood in it. But you will have literally religions, Satanists, that will drink blood. You have all of these freak shows from Hollywood and all of these people from years and years ago that used to keep vials of blood around their neck. They would drink their blood. They slice up little X's on their arm, and you will have literally vampiric people that are trying to live out of vampire world. And I've seen these people before, and I've watched documentaries where the people, they start drinking the blood, and they can't not stop drinking the blood. Like I remember these two really freaky people, a male and a female, and they were literally vampiric people. And they were talking about how sometimes what the only way for them to calm down is to make a little X on their mate, and then start sucking that blood that comes off it. And they've gone even further that says when their mates aren't around, they will just make that X on their arm and start sucking that blood as well. These people are getting high from this, right? They're literally getting high from sucking in the blood. Our Creator says the life of the flesh is in the blood, and the reason that we have this is that it is for atonement for our lives. That is why we had the Levites. This is why we had the Levitical process. We did not have it so our Creator slaughters mass animals. He slaughtered mass animals so he didn't have to slaughter us. That's the bottom line. Something else died and bled for what we deserved, and we better be thankful that it is what it is. Now, does everyone here eat kosher meat? Now, when you're talking kosher, you're talking a religious system, right? I don't even know what that means. The way that Judaism has kosher is that you have to have one of their priests or one of their rabbis bless the food to make it kosher. We've seen that down here where people are like, oh, did the rabbi bless this food? And we're like, no, the rabbi didn't bless anything. You don't want the rabbi to bless nothing, right? You want to eat clean food, right? You don't eat pork. That's clean, that you want to eat hamburgers. That's a clean food. Kosher, yeah, being clean. I do, yeah. And kosher, as far as that goes, you're supposed to eat clean food. Call it kosher, call it whatever it is. But kosher is literally a more of a Talmudic Jewish thing where they will take even stuff that is, in their religion, if the goys touch their stuff, it's unclean till the rabbi comes and blesses it, right? It's just crazy the way that they go for that. So continuing on. Got to know your farmers. Clean meat. Yeah, clean meat comes from regular farms, right? You guys in North America, I'm sure you can still find places that slaughter their cows, and you can see the process of it. It's all good. Not all kosher food is clean. No, because the word kosher isn't even. This is a Jewish thing, right? If you see this and on the back of the stuff it's like kosher, you have no idea what that means, really, other than it has been through a Jewish system. We know what we call kosher because Leviticus 11 calls it kosher, right? We know what's clean and what is not unclean. We don't actually need the word of the Judaism or anything like that. Okay, now
12.
Where? 12. Okay, so we don't eat blood, right? We don't drink blood. That is what the devils do. That's what the demons do. We don't do that. 12. Therefore, I said to the children of Israel, No being among you eats blood, nor does any stranger who sojourns among you eat blood. Seems basic. Seems pretty basic, right? Where do we get meat from? We get meat from the store, from the meat section where it says cow, and it says that various things. We have slaughtered our own cows before, kind of a dire process, but yeah. If you see a capital K on anything, it does not trim. Yeah, there's a lot of funky stuff when it comes down to the kosher. When you guys start investigating the whole, I'm not gonna. What is it? I can't say the S word. Scam. But there is definitely a scam part of this entire thing, because what they call kosher is not always kosher. There's a joke that they have on this stuff. And so, guys, we know what we call kosher. We know what cling food is. Okay.
I think
13, yeah. So we don't eat the blood, right? And any man from the children of Israel or from the strangers who sojourn among you, who hunts a beast or bird which is eaten, shall pour out his blood and cover it dust. For it is the life of all flesh. Its blood is for its life. And I said to the children of Israel, do not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Anyone eating it is cut off. Okay, so not only do we hear that we should not eat the blood, but we hear over and over in this chapter that it is something that is different, right? And you don't have to go any further than when the Satanists, for those who have never studied adrenochrome and that entire sick world that they have, essentially they will do that exact same. Out of blood, people are able to create literal drugs that are sold for expensive amounts of money. I remember watching these documentaries back in the day, how they had killed a kid, and they had drained the blood out, and they had tortured the child, and there was about 15 or 16 of them in this room, and they described what they did. And the entire process was to torture the kid to the exact extremes that there was more fear than anything, and then they kill the kid, and then they drink that blood. And when you want to talk about a abominable ceremony of great evil, that's the devils and demons that are doing evil like this. And so, guys, this is why we don't drink the blood. We don't. This is not part of our world. This is the part of the world of devils and demons. Okay, continuing on. 15. And any being who eats a carcass, or what was torn by any beast, be he a native or a stranger, he shall wash his garments and bathe in water, and shall be unclean until evening. Then he shall be clean. Okay, let's talk about this, guys. It says that it talks about a native. Who would be a native?
I mean, anyone in part of Israel.
So
Like
why would anyone of a native eat a carcass when that goes against Torah?
It could have been like emergency situations. You need food. Something could happen where that was like your only choice.
Only choice.
Only
I
choice
think
I don't know.
fasting. That's an interesting thing. But I don't want anyone to get like a misunderstanding, guys. Roadkill is not food, right? We have a Leviticus 11 dietary guideline, and it is an interesting commandment here, because this is one of the commandments that we can give like roadkill to the sojourner, somebody who's coming on because they don't live under the same laws and regulations. But for us, we're not supposed to eat it. And then at the end, it gives us a ceremony part of it that we are unclean, right? We're unclean until evening, and then we shall be clean. 16 says this, and if he does not wash or bathe his body, then he shall bear his wickedness. And there's a lot of stuff that you could bear your wickedness, right? You could get very, very sick. You could get there's a tremendous amount of things that can happen when we're eating unclean food, or when we're dealing with death and decay and things of this nature. Okay, what do we got? Chat. I read somewhere that if your meat is no cut or trimmed or fat, it is wrong to eat meat with fat not trimmed off. Meat is not cut or trimmed or fat, that it is wrong to eat meat with fat not trimmed. Yeah, you wouldn't want to eat a meat with the fat on it, right? We have the commandments that we are not to eat fat. And there's this really fatty stuff, brisket. I don't even know how you would eat a brisket without eating the fat, because the entire thing is loaded up with fat. And again, I don't want to throw dear old mom under the bus, but dear old mom does some pretty wild, wacky, nasty stuff, where she will take the entire steak, cut all the fat off, save it for the very end. She'll even eat the fat off other people's plate, and it's like candy. That's just, it's very, very, very foul. And so, yeah, we don't eat the fat, right? We don't want to. Always in scriptures, it's always talking about how our Creator likes the smell of burning fat. And as you guys cook meat, and as you guys can smell like, you know, a steakhouse or something, everybody smells it, smells really, really good. Same for our Creator, right? That's why you know He's pretty much locally with us, because of things like this, right? He can smell what's happening right here. Then He's not 5 kabillion light years away, and we're not just a bunch of monkeys on a spinning water ball. Okay, so here we are, guys. Let's get into Matthew 17, and let's get this thing going, because this is an amazing book. It's an amazing chapter. Anybody gonna give me a breakdown of this?
Well, we have Yahushua. We have him going around teaching people, healing people, doing things, trying to restore the Torah to the kingdom, trying to restore the people out of their captivity, out of their slavehood of not knowing the Torah, of not knowing what Yahuwah's commandments are, teaching the people, teaching them how to be better people. And the Pharisees are workers of evil. They're trying to go against that. They're sending questions and tests and trials and all sorts of stuff to Yahushua as he goes around and heals people and brings more people back to the kingdom to find the lost sheep. And he is doing miracles, showing us the feast, keeping the Torah, showing us what it is to walk the Torah, what it is to live the Torah.
Yeah, and this is very interesting because for whatever it is, I guess interesting. We are, for those on the Zadiki calendar, we are on Sukkot right now. We are in the days of camping out, and for anybody that's there, I found it very fascinating that last week we were on a chapter of roughly where we're at. Now we're on a chapter where we're at. Yeah, and so guys, if anybody eats at McDonald's, guys, please don't eat at McDonald's. I mean, there's literally every sort of abomination in that food. For anybody who hasn't seen, you can take a Big Mac and you can keep it for like 25 years and it pulls out. It looks just like the same thing. This is not food. And food is something that the body needs for nutrition. And when you're simply eating that stuff, it is far better to fast than it is to eat fast food. That's the bottom line. You don't know what's in this stuff. McDonald's is absolutely an abomination. Throughout the years, they found human meat in there. They found all sorts of bad stuff in that. It's just not stuff you would want to eat. It's not real food. It's fake food. Okay, Matthew 17, guys. Messiah is rocking it here. And after 6 days, Yahushua took Kepha, Peter, and Jacob, and Yochanan, his brother, and brought them up on a high mountain by themselves. And when he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as light. Okay, Eli, take us into our storybook. Morton. Yeah, I don't even know what Morton is, but that's funny because we have a Morton's Bakehouse down here. And it's run by the Jews. So yeah, very, very interesting. Okay, so here we have it right here. And Eli found this picture right here, and we were discussing this morning. Which one was Moshe and which one is Eliyahu? So in the chat, take a look at these pictures. Who would you think it was? Just observe that, and let's have a little bit of fun with this too. Okay. So Messiah, he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun. His garments became as white as the light. And see, Moshe and Eliyahu appeared to them, talking with him. And Kepha answered, said to Yahushua, Adonai, it is good for us to be here. If you want, let us make here 3 booths, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. Okay. What do you guys make of this? Why do you guys think he's making some booths up on the mountain?
So that would be the original word would be a sukkah.
Sukkah,
Which
yeah.
would mean they are around the times of Sukkot.
Right, and so it's a little booth. It would be this is what we were here with, right? And so we're in an appointed time.
It wouldn't make sense for Peter just to say like, "Hey, let me make you guys some houses real quick."
Yeah, or
like, he's just visiting people, and like people show up. Why would he want to do it? Because it's Sukkot, and he is trying to obey the feast times.
yeah. Okay. Traces of horse meat. Yeah, they definitely, yeah. Human, yeah, 75. Guys, don't eat it, guys. Burger King, McDonald's, Dairy Queen, all of these things. I don't even go, what's that one in the deep south?
Waffle House?
No, there's one in the deep south. It's the really greasy one that
Popeyes?
No, it's not Popeyes. You would only know it if you were in the dirty south, guys. Waffle House. Don't go to the Waffle House either, guys. Definitely don't go there. Those are not clean food. Okay, continuing on. So,
Obi-Wan says Moshe is on the left.
all right, Moshe, let's go back over there. All right, so Moshe's on the left. We had this discussion this morning. So we see one dude, the dude on the right, he's got no shoes on. So we were wondering about this. We were like, well, we know their shoes didn't disappear. Moshe has his staff. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't know. We just thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, so interesting. All right, continue on. 5? Okay, while he was still speaking, see, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and see, a voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my son, this is my bin, the beloved, in whom I delight. Hear him." Okay, this is again another witness, right? Scriptures are all about witnesses. At the behest of multiple witnesses, you can have a man killed, right? At the behest of multiple witnesses, you can establish a certain situation. At the behest of the creator of the universe, along with all of the other people, he has told us, "This is my son," right? He did not say, "This is me." He did not say, "This is me, but I'm pretending to be somebody else who I'm saying isn't me, but is really me." And you got to look through the fine line to figure it out, right? None of this is what that is. This is the creator of the universe that says, "This is my son, the beloved, in whom I delight." And then we have a Shema, right? Well, it's not a Shema exactly, but it's a hear him, right? This is very, very important. Okay, continuing on. 6. And when the Talmudim heard, they fell on their faces and were much afraid. But Yahushua came near and touched them and said, "Rise and do not be afraid." And having lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Yahushua only. And as they were coming down from the mountain, Yahushua commanded them, saying, "Do not mention the vision to anyone until the son of Adam is raised from the dead." Okay, let's go over this, guys. Why again? Why did Messiah tell people all the time, "Don't tell anybody what I did. Don't let this be known." This particular situation, Messiah says, "Don't tell anyone that what happened here until I am dead." What do you guys make of this?
So I would think it's because they wouldn't believe him, right? It would be a little weird. You go down and start telling everyone, think, "Oh, this is a crazy person." See Moses and Elijah. But if the guy gets raised from the dead, and then it would make a lot of sense. You know, this guy actually probably did see Moses and Elijah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I want to talk into this. I hate to break into this stuff, but you guys always in the chat always have awesome things. Yeah, let's see. Everybody's talking about, meat here. Joanna doesn't even look right to the eye. You know, that's the thing about meat, and a lot of people don't realize this, but most of the meat has been messed with. And you can find certain different videos where it has the entire process, and they will run a piece of chicken meat through it, and you'll have about 60 needles that go into it and inject it full of you don't know what. But it takes that little piece of chicken meat and makes it huge. It looks like a ginormous piece of chicken meat. And then as these guys are frying this, all of that stuff comes out of there. So you have a whole bunch of raging Gentiles that are doing abominations with their weights and measurements, and they are completely ripping people off. And now you have all of these lab meats, right? You have all of these things that are not even real meats. And the entire order of our food process has been destroyed. Guys, it's been destroyed decades ago. People are starting to wake up to it. You know, it's like, let's just continue on with this, right? If you eat a bag of Skittles, right? You eat a bag of M&Ms. By the time you're done with the bag, you have literally become dumber. That's a scientific fact. You have food colorings in there like yellow 5, yellow 6, red 4, red 40, blue 5, blue 1. All of these things scientifically make you dumber with every single bite. Now, there's a lot of places across the world that a lot of the food that comes out of North America, it's banned. They don't poison people with that. They don't poison them with stuff called aspartame. Guys, aspartame is a sweetener, and it's the poop of a bug, right? It's a little tiny itty bitty bug, and so they decided that this bug took a bathroom break, and they decided to eat that, and they said, "Wow, that tastes kind of sweet." And so they have all of these drinks with aspartame in them, and it's literally the feces of E. coli. That's all up in our food that we eat. And so as we get sicker and as we die year after year, week after week, end up, our body's just, it's not food. We're not eating the same food that we used to have long time ago. Okay, what's going on? I see you laughing over in the chat. What's going on, Mr. Cole?
I was laughing at Honeymoon's stitch. He says, "Now I know why I'm so stupid."
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Once we know, we don't want to do that. And guys, don't take my word for it. Simply look up the effects of the food coloring in the United States food system. Why we have this stuff and it's all the manufacturers out of the United States that do this stuff. Nothing's real. That's why most of us have diabetes. Not most of us, but a lot of people have diabetes. A lot of people are very, very sick. A lot of people, they have never really had a true meal in their entire lives, which is crazy. We're at the end of times, folks. We're at the end of times. It's completely over. Okay, now let's continue on. Where are we at, Phyllis? 10? Okay, 10. 10. And his Talmudim asked him, saying, why then do the scribes say that Eliyahu has to come first? And Yahushua answering said to them, Eliyahu is indeed coming first, and shall restore all. Now, I won't even break into this mystery right here because we're about to break the mystery down itself. But I say to you, the Eliyahu, Isaiah has already come, and they did not recognize him, but did to him whatever they wanted. In this way, the son of Adam is about to suffer by them. Did you have something?
What did I say?
Did I say Isaiah? What did I say?
He said Eliyahu, Isaiah.
Oh, sorry.
Elijah.
Elijah, sorry guys, missed it. Yeah, so we have Isaiah, Eliyahu, Elijah. Sorry guys, I'm killing it here. That's the mystery, right? The mystery is who really was John the Baptist, and a lot of people will discount this part. I'm not going to discount this part, but Messiah says, then the Talmudim understood that he had spoken to them about Yochanan the Immerser. So this is prophecy that has come, that went, and we had one just like Eliyahu. We had one that came in the same ways, the same understanding. And Yochanan the Immerser was an incredible being. Like there was no better person than him to herald in the incoming birth of our Creator, in the incoming way, right? Pave the way for our Creator. This is the way forward, and there was no better one than Yochanan the Immerser. And at the end of the day, he was killed, right? He became a hero to his people, and they killed him because nobody wanted to hear the message. Nobody wanted to hear the word. The Pharisees and Sadducees, he was preaching something different than what they understood. They hated this guy. Continuing on, 14. And when they came to the crowd, a man came up to him, kneeling down to him and saying, Adonai, have compassion on my son, for he is an epileptic and suffers badly. For he often falls into the fire and often into the water. And I brought him to your Talmudim, but they were unable to heal him. And Yahushua answering said, O generation, unbelieving and corrupted, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him here to me. So, before we go into the final part of this particular piece here, the one thing our Messiah did that we should probably all take a lot of notes of is that he dealt with demons a tremendous amount. More than any other point in scriptures that we ever hear about these unclean spirits and demons that corrupt man and take them to school. And inside of these words, we learn a tremendous amount of things about these demons. Now, a lot of people don't understand what the demons are or why we even have demons. It starts like this. It started with the fallen angels, and the fallen angels had intimate relations with the human women. The women had babies. Now, these babies were freaks. They were not normal. They were complete freaks, genetic mutants. Now, this line of people, things, whatever they were, went and they mated with the offspring that they were with, right? So all the kids of the Nephilim, all the kids of the Watchers, they had babies. Then those kids had babies, and then they all had babies. Now, it came up with something like the Nephilim, the Eliud, and I can't remember the other name of these, but they're 3 different groups of giants, and they were all bigger than every single one of all the rest of them. And the end game was that these things were eating all the humans. We were not going to survive what was going on. And I explain this to you because I just explained this to my brother who's in chains, who hates the creator of the universe. And I brought this exact same thing up. Now, the demons are these things that when these things died, now judgment, our creator gave all of these fallen angels and all their offspring judgment. The judgment was that they all died before the eyes of their fathers. So you have all of these angels that mated with the women, and they were able to see all of the complete destruction in a very violent manner of all of their kids. That was part of the judgment. But because these things didn't have souls like humans have, they didn't have any place to go. So now these things are sitting here and they live to attack us, right? They are part of the entire forces of evil that are against us and that are always against us. And so that is what the demons are. And so as we listen and understand what our Creator's Son was talking about and his ability to rebuke the demons, if he's out there rebuking the demons, guys, we have to understand that these demons are truly after all of us. They're after our hearts, minds, souls, and they're after our children. They're after our families. They're after your marriage. They're after absolutely everything, and it would make them very, very happy if they made everything in your life completely wrecked so that you could say, I hate God, right? Like, oh, this is all God's fault that I am here where I am. And that's the understanding. So let's continue on with this. And Yahushua rebuked the demon, and it came out of him, and the child was healed from that hour. Then the Talmudim came to Yahushua by himself and said, why were we unable to cast it out? And this right here, guys, this is the armament that we want, right? If we are unable to fight the spiritual forces of darkness, this is possibly a reason why. And Yahushua said to them, because of your unbelief. For truly I say to you, if you have belief as a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it shall move. And no matter shall be impossible for you. Continuing on, this is the meat and potatoes of this particular thing. Cling meat and cling potatoes. But this kind does not go out except through prayer and fasting. Guys, there's a lot of times when you can possibly think that somehow there's unclean spirits that have taken us, taken our families, taken all of this. There's a very good answer and a very good reason that we should be fasting, that we should be praying, that we should be seeking our Creator, that he is able to help us, because we are not apt at dealing with this kind of things. We can't even see these things. We can't even see the kind of things that are trying to destroy us. But at the same time, we can't see the messengers of our Creator that are also helping us out and fighting this madness that is out there. So, prayer and fasting. Very, very, very important. Gummy vitamin, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm going back to Joanna. Yes, vitamins. That's also a scam as well, guys. Very, very much. Number one, a lot of these vitamins, they will give you the shell of the vitamins, and it will be pig, right? It's a pig, whatever it is. So the joke, you might be thinking something you think is going to be helping you, take some magnesium, but it's absolutely pig. So what kind of capsules?
Gelatin. You have to get beef gelatin.
Make sure you get beef gelatin capsules.
Or vegan.
Capsules, because if not, they stick pig in everything, right? So there's nothing to be trusted anymore. And if these devils and demons can get one little piece of pig in our mouths, they would love it, right? That's just what they want. They want evil. Okay, continuing on. We are 22. And while they were staying in Galilee, Yahushua said to them, the bin of Adam is about to be delivered up into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And the third day he shall be raised up. And they were deeply grieved. And when they came into Capharnaum, those who received the tax came to Kepha and said, does your teacher not pay the tax? He said, yes. And when he first came into the house, Yahushua spoke to him first, saying, what do you think, Shimon? From whom do the sovereigns of the earth take toll or tax? From their own sons or from the strangers? Okay. Guys, answer that for me. What do you guys think? What's the answer?
Well, it would be the strangers. I don't think they tax their own kids unless they're really, really evil.
Yeah, and that's what Messiah was talking about, right? Are they taxing their own people, or are they taxing strangers, right?
Strangers, of course.
Yeah, absolutely strangers. 26 says this: Kepha said to him, from the strangers. Yahushua said to him, then the sons are exempt. Messiah continues on. He says this is something he's not going to tell everybody else, but lest we cause him to stumble, go to the sea, cast in a hook, and take the fish that comes up first. And when you have opened its mouth, you shall find a coin. Take that and give it to them for me and you. So there we go. Messiah pays it. Yeah, another miracle. Messiah pays his taxes. But he was very, very clear, right? He's not talking about. He's talking about the people. He's talking about the priests taxing people, right? I believe from whom So I believe he's talking about their own priests that are taxing the people on this whole thing. So just not to make a scene, he went and had them catch a fish with it in their mouth. Okay, all right. Well, I think that's it, guys. If there's nothing else in the chat, it has been absolutely lovely. I love this chat. I love this family. I love you guys. Yeah, this is a very good group to hang out in for those who are new to scriptures. You know, the Yahoo and the Torah chat is a very astute group of brothers and sisters. And so, yeah, it's amazing. One did my computer stuff for me at my job. I just let her do it. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, much love to all of you guys. We love you guys very, very much. Let us get into Jade. Will you nail this? And yeah, vitamin D, guys. That's yet another scam, right? This should be in the message on scam. For years and years and years, they have you put on sunscreen lotion, and that gives you cancer, right? That gives you all sorts of cancers, and you don't get any vitamin D. You're sick, and all this stuff. It's all a scam, right? Flip your shirt off if you're men. Go out in that sun, get it dialed in. Enjoy those beautiful rays that our Creator has made. According to the book of Enoch, the son's name is Thomas. So Thomas will fly by and give us light, give us warmth. And our Creator is amazing in that He has created and blessed us with all this. Jade, will you please
Bless you.
bless our brothers and sisters?
All right. Yehovah baruch you and guard you. Yehovah make His face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yehovah lift up His face upon you and they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall baruch them.
All right, before we hit the music, guys, our dogs are always getting wild. They always do. We got 9 pitties. Wonderful creations. Much love, folks. right, brothers and sisters, may Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the grace of our Creator embolden your life. May the Torah forever give you peace in your life and a vision for the future. Much love to everybody out there. We hope to see you guys next week. Much love.
right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.